We all know that nitrates can be an absolute fish killer if they're not kept under control. So how do we keep them under control? First things first, how do we get nitrates in our aquarium to begin with? Nitrates appear in your aquarium after beneficial bacteria breaks down ammonia and nitrite. So a good way to look at it is if you have nitrates present, that means your aquarium is cycled and the bacteria is doing its job. So you have 0 ammonia, 0 nitrite, and just a little bit of nitrate. That means you have a healthy aquarium. But if your nitrates start to rise, it can cause a ton of problems for your fish. Yes, it's true. Nitrate isn't as lethal as ammonia or nitrite, but it can still kill your fish if you don't do something about it. Think of it like this. It's wintertime, it's cold outside. You want to spice things up a bit and warm things up, so you build a fire in the fireplace. But oops, you forget to open the flue and let all the smoke out. It's not like you're just going to instantly die, but your house is going to start to fill up with smoke and carbon dioxide. This is going to start to get very unpleasant and you're going to start to feel a little lightheaded and your throat's going to get scratchy. If you don't open the flue and crack some windows to let fresh air in, you'll end up falling asleep and unfortunately never wake up. This is a real thing and it's very sad. In fact, this is the exact scenario that happened with Weird Al Yankovic's parents. It just makes me so sad because he's such a good guy. Anyway, this is what's happening in your aquarium. The nitrates are slowly elevating, and if it gets high enough, your fish will start to act lethargic, they won't have much of an appetite, and they may even start laying around on the bottom of the tank. When you start seeing this, you need to react right away. Otherwise, you're going to have a tank full of dead fish. So how do we resolve this if we start seeing these symptoms? Well, you're going to need to do 3 things. The first thing you need to do right away is dose the tank with a product like Fritz Complete that detoxifies nitrates. You can use whatever product you choose. If it's Prime that you're loyal to, you can use that too. They don't remove nitrates, but they detoxify them. Once you've dosed the tank with whatever preferred nitrate detoxifier you have, like I said, our first choice is Complete, second would be Prime. Once you do that, you're going to buy yourself a little bit of time. It's going to help to get your fish through this whole nightmare, but it doesn't stop there. The second thing you need to do is physically remove the nitrates from the tank. No, you're not going to reach in there, grab nitrates and pull them out. I wish it was that easy. You're going to have to do this by doing a water change. Now, some might tell you to start doing smaller water changes to gradually lower the nitrates so it's not as much of a shock to your fish. I personally believe this is nonsense. Look at it like this. If you're in your house and it's filling up with carbon monoxide, would you rather barely crack a window and gradually open it to slowly lower your exposure? Of course not. You're going to want to get the hell out of that house, get out there into the fresh air, and breathe in as much as you can. It's common sense. Well, treat your nitrate problem the same way. Give your fish a nice big breath of fresh air by doing at least a 50% water change. Once you've done that, test your water again to see what kind of impact it had. If the levels are still high, do a follow-up 50% water change and continue doing it until the levels are safe, which in my opinion should be under 10 parts per million. Now, this doesn't mean do 100% water change in one session. What I'm saying is do 50%, test your water. It's going to lower it quite a bit, but if it's still not down exactly where you want it to be, the following day, do another one. Keep doing that until it goes down. So we dosed the tank in the beginning to buy us a little more time. We did a nice big water change and continued doing water changes until the levels got down to where we need them to be. We've dodged a bullet, right? Yes, but we're not done there because we've still got to complete step 3, which in my opinion is the most important part of this whole process. And that's going to be determine what caused the high nitrates to begin with. Okay, buckle up now because it's time for me to get a little controversial. Baby kitty, let's face it. I could say water is wet, and some people would say that's controversial. You know, I don't think it's appropriate to use a word like wet in these videos because it has a sexual connotation. You know what I'm saying? Here's the controversy. I went to the doctor a while back. This was, I guess, a couple of years ago now, and I had high blood pressure. And what did the doctors do to resolve that issue? They gave me pills. I mean, I took the pills, but the issue is there were never any questions like, hey, what's your family history with this? What's your lifestyle like? What's your diet like? How's your stress? You know, the things that cause high blood pressure. She just looked at me and said, he's obviously not going to make any changes to his lifestyle. Just look at him. Instead, she just wrote me off as a hopeless cause and threw pills at me. I'd rather fix the problem than to just put a Band-Aid on it and take pills, but I was never given the chance. Here, take these pills, fatty. Now listen, I understand genetics play a huge role in high blood pressure. Some people can't fix the problem naturally. In fact, I'm one of those people that was given high blood pressure by my mother, but I've been able to get it super close to normal just by making lifestyle changes. The point to all this is if you don't do some investigating into why your nitrates were elevated and correct that issue, this is something you're going to be battling nonstop. Don't just put a Band-Aid on the problem and throw some pills at it. Fix the problem and your life and your fish's lives will be so much better for it. Here's the first thing I want you to do to help keep nitrates under control. I want you to start by testing your water every single day. Don't give me this crap that you're too busy to do that. I mean, let's be honest with each other. You're sitting on your butt watching YouTube right now. I want you to test every day and watch what your nitrates are doing. With your normal maintenance and your normal feeding schedule, see how long it takes for those nitrates to start getting elevated. This is critical information because it shows what happens to your water under normal conditions, and you can take that information and determine what's next. Let's say immediately after your big 50% water change, your nitrates go down to 5 parts per million. You go on business as usual, and a week later, they're at 10 parts per million. Okay, I'm paying attention now, and you let another week go by, and they're at 15 parts per million. Now you know it's time to do your maintenance. Maybe you're someone that's doing water changes and maintenance once a month. Well, now you know you weren't doing enough, and you need to start doing them every other week. Problem solved. You're fixing the issue before it becomes a problem. Good job. Now to the next thing. In fact, I'm surprised you haven't brought it up already. I bet you have in the comments section. Live plants. Live aquarium plants feed off of nitrates. Yes, it's true. It's like magic. You feed your fish, the fish poop, the bacteria in the tank converts that ammonia to nitrite and then to nitrate, and the live plants consume the nitrate. Talk about circle of life. This is like a gift for all fish keepers. Yes, it is, but listen to me. If you have a 75-gallon tank in your living room with 50 tetras in there and you're having a nitrate problem, don't go buy one Amazon sword and think the problem's solved. I mean, yeah, one plant is better than none, but it ain't going to do much. You need to have a bunch of plants in there. But John, I have South American cichlids like you do, and every single time I put plants in there, they just rip them up. Yeah, I know the feeling. Well, for you, I'm afraid it's going to be all up to you not being lazy. Unfortunately, there's no other answer for you other than you're going to have to be on top of your game. You're not going to be able to be lazy with these fish. Yeah, it sucks, but you know what? You are a smart person. Obviously you are, because you're watching this channel. So you knew what you were getting into before you bought these big pigs that you put in your tank. You knew that they were going to be constantly making a mess, and you were going to be constantly battling to not only keep their tank clean, but to also keep it healthy. So to wrap this all up, nitrates are a sign of a healthy aquarium, but we've still got to do our part to keep them under control by being on a strict maintenance schedule that we determined by our tests and supplementing nitrate control with live plants. It's that easy. So there you go. I hope this has helped you out with your nitrate problem. If you're still a little bit unclear as to how this whole cycle thing works, you can watch this video right here, which I happen to think is the most important video that's ever been made in the aquarium hobby. And that's exactly why I titled it that. So give that a watch. It'll make it much more clear for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.